Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing something a little bit different on the channel. This is a little miniature time-lapse camera. It's sort of like an action camera. It can record video, but its primary purpose or primary use would be to take time-lapse photos and compile those into a time-lapse video, which it can also do, or it can output a series of photos, or it can output both, all depending on the settings. Now this is Wi-Fi controlled. As you guys can see, there's no screen on the back. The battery, I'll show you in a moment, is actually located behind the back panel here. And this thing looks pretty darn cool, but again, it's Wi-Fi based, so it broadcasts a Wi-Fi signal to your phone, and then you have a smartphone, your smartphone app, which I'll discuss. And that is what you will use to change the settings and actually start and stop recording. Well, you could actually use, I believe, the shutter button as well, but usually you just use the app for most of the controls. Now I have the camera assembled per se. There's some other accessories I'll show you inside the box. So it does come with this UV lens, which in the test footage I actually had this installed, and it just slides off, and there it is, and it has the UV lenses inside of here. So you put this on, and this will help to reduce on the glare and stuff like that using this. So it was a bright sunny day yesterday. I had this applied, attached I should say, whenever I was taking the footage there. And then you've got a tripod, a little sort of action camera style tripod here. And I got that attached, and it just attaches on the bottom here, so you can unscrew it and then remove the tripod. So I'll take that off. And here is the actual camera itself. Now, one of the unique features about this is it actually has a manual focus. You can turn this like a dial. So you don't have to worry about one of these, like a lot of your action cameras are sort of focused to infinity. So they focus better on things far away. And when they're up close, they may tend to be a little bit blurry or out of focus. This you can go in clockwise or counterclockwise, adjust for up close or far away. So in the test footage you'll see at the end of this video, at about 30 seconds of time lapse, you'll be able to see I focused the best I could, of course using the live preview in the app, on the trees in the background so that things in the distance were not out of focus. I thought it looked pretty good. Now this will take photos, video, and then it'll do the time lapse series and compile it into a video for you, or you can have it compile a video and a series of photos if you want to edit the photos of yourself into a time lapse in your editing software in your computer, because this will take a single photo at 2688 by 1520 pixels, so sort of close to 1440p, I guess you could say, but that's what you can take a single photo in. Video is just 1080p at 25 frames per second, and then when it compiles the video time lapse for you in the camera, it will just output those at 1080p at 25 frames per second. So if you were to take the photos in the series, put it in your editing software, then you'd be able to output a higher resolution video, because it's actually down, it's down sampling the photos into a video of 1080p. So you're losing a little bit of quality, is what I'm getting at doing it that way. It also comes with a micro SD card, so that's nice. You don't have to buy one, and this one is 16 gigs. It's aTLi branded. It looks sort of like a SanDisk, but I don't know exactly who makes the card. And then on this side you've got an output connection here, and then you got your USB-C, which is just for charging. You have an orange and a green light. When the green light comes on, then you know it's ready to be used, and you connect to the Wi-Fi, which I'll discuss in a moment. But when it first comes on, it just comes on orange, and actually the light is right down here, I believe, right here. I was pointing to the wrong spot. It's a little hard to see because it's all this gloss black. Inside that back panel is where that battery is, and this is a lithium ion. I'm sure it's just a 1S, and I believe it was 2050 milliamp. It is 1S 2050 milliamp on this guy, so that is the capacity. And you have a battery meter in the app that will show you how much battery you have, and doing a time lapse at every 10, and then I did one at 10 seconds, and then I did one at every 3 seconds to be able to get more footage. And the battery was still well over 90%, so it doesn't take much for it to take those photos. And let's take a look inside the box. Obviously this stuff comes in there. You can see that it mentions as a manual focus, and it comes in a pretty nice little hard box. It's actually, this box comes inside of a more plain box when they mailed it to me. You have a USB-C charging cable, and then you have like a dust cover. So if you want to attach this and help keep dust and elements off of it, you can. Even if it's a light mist out, this would help. But obviously this camera is not waterproof, so you can't take it into the water. But this would help if you were out in the elements a little bit and you wanted to attach that to it. Then you get, it looks like a little, you know, this would be to screw on here on the bottom, this little nut. And maybe, I don't know if that's to help keep the, well, that goes right through this. It doesn't, the dust cover should just slip over it. I just haven't put it on yet. Then they give you a Chinese and an English like quick start guide. Now, it's big enough that even my relatively poor eyes can read it. But if you need a larger instruction manual, you can go to the website and they have full-size PDF of this manual. But this is not too bad. I was able to read this, and they give you all the different accessories here. And then if you scan this, this takes you to the appropriate store to get the, actually I think the app comes straight from them. That's why there's only one QR code. And the name of that app is the aTLi Cam app. So I'll put a screenshot from their website. You need to download that for your device and install it, and that lets you connect. And then they have a QR code that has the Wi-Fi network name and, most importantly, your password to get onto the Wi-Fi network being broadcast from the camera to your device. And you can do it either two ways. You can scan it with the QR code scanner and read what that password is, go into your phone settings, manually connect, and then open the app. But the easiest thing to do is when you go into the app, you just go into the camera, add a camera, scan the QR code, it'll read it, automatically connect to the Wi-Fi, and I believe it will save it as well. So let's do is let's actually go into the app so you guys can sort of see how this works, and we'll do that. So let's go ahead and long press on this until we get a light, and we have an orange light, so it's not ready to connect yet. It's got green right now, so now we should be good to go. Let's go into the camera. It shows a camera right here, so let's just see if we click to connect, because I've already scanned that QR code yesterday. It's only given me, oh here, let's, maybe if we press that. There we go. So what you need to do is you need to press that actual, that's a little bit odd. Now it shows it's online, now we get the preview. So what you do is, when it comes up and it's saved, you're gonna press, you have to press on the Wi-Fi network that showed there. It was a little odd because it doesn't look like you can press that, but that's what they want you to do. Of course, the first time you do it, you're gonna scan that QR code, and then you're going to, at that point, once you scan the QR code, then it will automatically look for it and connect. But you shouldn't have to ever do it again. So let's see here if we can get into the actual camera. Now, once you're into the camera like that and you press it, you can see I'm looking at the side of the box. Let's aim off this way so you guys can see the studio background, which is not quite as annoying as looking around the rest of the basement. In the top, you have an HDR. You can turn this on or off. It's like a beta feature HDR. I used HDR in a sample footage you guys are going to see, though I may have ran a little bit here at the beginning as well. You can flip the camera which way you want it to record. So if you for some reason had the camera upside down, you wanted to flip it back right, or if you had the camera on the side, you can correct that, or you could just flip it that way if you wanted to, which would be a little odd. Over here where the A, the little A in the circle, this is some of your ISO settings for the different landscapes, lighting, and things that you're recording. And then down here you've got 3 bars, and you click that, and that goes into all your camera settings. your timestamp, the grid, power saving, your memory card. Has some advanced features in here you can click, like setting the time zone, FTP server. Just some really advanced settings in there. The timestamp I left on, so you'll see it in the video. A lot of times people are probably going to want to turn that off because you may not want that logo in your footage the entire time. I did it for the sake of this review, so you can see this absolutely from this camera and not from some other action camera that I had. You can then, inside your time lapse, you have your output as a video, or you can do the video plus the photo sequence. You can switch one. I just did video. Again, if you're going to edit this on your own computer, you might want to have the photo sequence as well, because you should be able to output a little higher quality video time lapse. And then you can schedule it. You can schedule, if you want, if you had this thing sitting on, you could have it start and stop at a specific time, what you want to do, and of course the intervals of how, right now it's by default set to 10. Then if you switch the camera to video in the actual drop down menu here at the top, you can drop it down and go photo or video. You switch it to video, then go to those settings, then the video options become available and the time lapse grays out. And you can then split it every 10 minutes. You can set the frame per second, which again the highest is 25. And you can mute or unmute them. It does have a built-in microphone. And then of course you can do the photo mode. I'm going to put it back to time lapse. And you can also see that it has a little battery meter that says it has 89% of the battery. Now when you go to press on the record, it comes up with the length of time, and then that's on interval. So this is where you can set the intervals for the pictures, I should say. So right now it's set to every 4 seconds. That's at the default. You can set it for really long. You can have it take a photo every couple hours or something if you want it. And I did a 3 second and I did 10. And again, I'm going to include the 3 second here just so I was able to get 30 seconds of footage. It takes a little while to record 30 seconds of footage even at every 3 seconds. Then you have a duration tab where you can just tell how long do you want it to just do this task. You can slide that over and then you can tell it how long you want it to actually do the recording. So that's how you start recording anything you're doing, whether it's video or photo or a time lapse, I should say, on this guy. So overall, I thought that the footage looked pretty good. Again, being downsampled to 1080p, it wasn't quite as clear as you would probably, as you might have if you just did it in your own editing software, is what I'm getting at. But otherwise, I thought it looked pretty good. This is a pretty nice camera, and aTLi seems like a pretty good company to work with. They were really on top of responding to my emails and my questions. And the website is also really, really nice. You can buy this, I'm sure, through their website, and I'm pretty sure they sell it on Amazon. And I'll include a purchase link if you're interested in checking this camera out from Amazon as well. All right, guys, that wraps up the review portion for this camera. So what we can do is we'll just move on now to that full 30 seconds time-lapse footage I took yesterday. So I hope you guys enjoy that. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, click the bell, that way you're notified every time I do upload a video, and stick around for that footage, guys. Have a great day.